Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the 2 Days Podcast. I'm Reg.
I'm Randy.
Yeah, that little bald egg over there. That one's Randy. That guy.
I know, it's awful. It's awful.
Yeah, we don't let him around children. Anyway, joining us this week, coming back, our honorary American idiot, Mr. Scott Lampman. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Afternoon, whatever time zone. Morning for me, even though it's afternoon here too. So,
yeah. But welcome back. Welcome back. Coming in from Portland and area, somewhere around Portland, Mr. Scotty Boy Lampman. How you been?
I've been good. So there's no more hubbub over my controversial Facebook post. So I live in St. Helens, Oregon.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Volcano. So
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice, sleepy little town out here. Very country, rural little town, but I live in a bedroom community for like Intel and Nike, stuff like that. Tech.
Right. Now we can, I love that that the heat has gone down. Now we can discuss exactly where you are.
Yeah, it just died off and it went away like it never happened. So
let's dial down a little bit. What's the color of your house? What is your home address? And the last 5 digits of your social insurance number?
Okay, I'll send that all via DM right now.
Share screen.
Perfect.
Present.
So what was going on with your tech problems there? Kind of missed you.
Oh, our tech problems. Oh, when my laptop died, you mean? Yeah.
Yes.
It just decided to one day just say fuck you and not turn back on. So I'd used it that Sunday before. We'd recorded a couple episodes, luckily, and saved everything, shut it down. And then I went on Wednesday to get everything all ready to go for the next day. And the light came on that the battery was charging and charged as it always would. Popped it open, hit the power button, nothing, wouldn't turn on. Occasionally I would get it in the past where it would delay slightly, and then I would hold it for a little bit. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it was a little bit finicky sometimes. But this time it just
was the laptop.
Oh, probably 7-8 years, something. It wasn't new.
Original battery? Original battery?
Probably
either the battery or the PCM on the board. So either way, that's under $100 to fix. But at an 8-year-old laptop,
suffice to say,
even cracking it. So
yeah, I got a fancy new computer now.
It gave Reg the excuse to go get what he wanted.
Yeah. That said, I am keeping the old laptop, and I still have it. Everything. I'm thinking of getting it back up and running just as a backup, which is never a bad thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
it's like in every room, I couldn't imagine being without.
That's like people without internet. It blows my mind. There's a guy I play hockey with, that he said that he doesn't have, what was it now? He doesn't have Wi-Fi at home, and he doesn't have cell service. So he uses like Wi-Fi when he goes to town or whatever. And I think he also doesn't have he might not even have a data plan on his phone. I don't remember. But it's like, so
how does he live, man?
Yeah, do you just pretend the world isn't there?
I have like limited data. I had one of the bosses at one of the companies I work for come to me about, I gave this girl this phone and she's over her limit. I'm paying for her to use Facebook. Like, she's a salesperson. She's on the road. Facebook is running. You're going to, stick her with a 2 gig plan to save a couple bucks. So she has to worry about how many emails she sends and stuff. That's crazy. And I do have some friends in Idaho that have no internet too. The money is tight and they can't afford internet. They just have cell phones. So
yeah,
they can only watch a movie on. You can only stream on their cell phone. So
I mean, it's totally reasonable if you're in a situation financially that has to be the case. Then all the power to you. But
to do it by choice is
I just no, I'd like to unplug sometime. I haven't done it in many years, but I don't know. When I'm on vacation, that's not my goal or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. I would rather jump dick first into Mount St. Helens than voluntarily not have internet.
Well, I'm old as fuck, and I've spent decades trying to find ways to get online and send an email or edit a file or do whatever. Way back in the day, I had this big old clunky Palm Pilot with a sled and all this, trying to send an email. You could maybe get half a kilobit, and sitting there in a parking lot trying to send a 4-word email for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And now I've got a 3D printer in the garage that I can open an app from anywhere in the world and control. It's just amazing.
It's pretty wild, eh?
Love that.
That's so cool. That's so cool. What are you using a 3D printer for? Butt plugs?
A lot of butt plugs. Various things. Gun lowers.
Gun
Baby
lowers?
Yoda. We just printed a baby Yoda.
That's so cool.
A lot of all the models of the Enterprise, from the
Cool.
NCC 1701A through the J.
That's awesome.
Whatever.
Stuff like that. Next up, my wife wants a skull flower pot. It's all gnarly.
Okay.
That's so cool. Like what? So again, I've never even seen a 3D printer. I know of them and I'm vaguely familiar with how they work, but sort of run us through it. Like what's the methodology here? How do you work a 3D printer?
I'm kind of bummed out that for the first time in 2 weeks, there's not a job running right now. So I could just throw you some video and say, here it is running. Offline later, I will show you that. But
Sure.
Basically, there are different types of 3D printers, but basically, there's a plate that heats up. There's filament that is melted and delivered to exact coordinates, and the plate by either what's called an XY axis is one where the arms move X and Y and the plate moves Z. I have one, it's an Ender 3D Max. The plate moves forward and back and up and down, and an arm goes this way.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Basically, you have the right material, the right temperature, at the right feed rate, and you have to get that all kind of dialed in. And then you print out stuff it's like manufactured. It's tough as hell. I don't have any parts up here, but I would show you.
Right.
I didn't
That's
know
so
we
cool.
talked about 3D printing, or I would have brought it up.
So can you just like
Out.
download specs on anything you want
Well,
and then
actually-
just input that?
All right, there is something on my desk. Now that I'm looking at it, this isn't very impressive as is, but it's a box that looks like a book. A friend of mine's a nerd and he likes to paint. Well, a lot of my friends are nerds. Anyway, I'm not just demonstrating it very well. This is really cheap material, but it's tough as hell. So again, you can make an AR lower with some of this material, and there's carbon fiber. You can get wood infused and all kinds of different stuff. So
Cool.
it's kind of a hobby. My son rented a workspace in Grants Pass. They have 5 3D printers there, and then he traded a job for a printer, so he has one at home. And the buddy that turned me on to it, he's got like 5 as well. So he's just cranking
That's cool,
out
man.
material.
Yeah, that's
round
so
the
cool.
clock, making something out of nothing. There was nothing, and then you.
It's God mode. Yeah.
So the easy way to go, you can model your own stuff, but you go to thingiverse.com, and there's all kinds of stuff that's pre-done. Download the file like you download a JPEG, throw it into what's called a slicer to set the parameters for what kind of material you're going to use and what your printer is. Throw it into the printer and go. It's pretty easy.
That's amazing. What do those 3D
Wild.
printers run for?
The one I just bought was $375, $379.
Wow.
And
That's-
you can get one
that's
for
not bad.
$230 for smaller
That's
volume.
way
The one I
less.
have is about 300 centimeters square or
Yeah.
cube of build volume. You can get something that's smaller for even less.
That's wow. That's way less than I thought they would be.
Fun.
Yeah, that's
Super nerdy. It
Yeah.
doesn't translate into a lot of pussy, but still fun.
well, you just got to keep making those butt plugs, and then
Yeah.
you go into the dildos, and then it'll get you all the
There you
pussy.
go. There you
Mhm.
go.
Baby steps, baby steps.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Wasn't there controversy about some guy was releasing 3D print specs for certain guns and stuff that he was trying to release,
Yeah,
and the government was trying
there's
to
definitely
get
a
it.
lot of controversy about that. But
Yeah.
like nothing we print here is illegal.
Yeah.
Definitely don't do anything illegal. But yes, that does translate. It could translate into a ghost gun where you take these lowers and all these other parts and then commit some crime with it or something.
Yeah.
We're doing it for fun, and we haven't actually finished building any. kind of tried, but in the pandemic, all the gun parts and ammunition in the U.S. it's hard to find, and when you can find it, it's all super expensive
Right.
because
Interesting.
everyone's been preparing for the Civil War or whatever. So, I
Could-
got a box
could-
of blowers that don't do anything.
Is there a material that you could like fully 3D print a fully functioning like AR-15?
Yes, and yes. yes, you could build kind of a lesser gun that is entirely made out of a 3D printed plastic.
Right.
Some guys say they put 1,000 rounds through them. I don't know that I would want to do that. But there's also metal 3D printing. Cost goes up, the material cost goes up, but yes, absolutely, that could be done. And there's also ceramic. So you can do receivers and barrels with that as well.
Okay.
So, and this is what a dumbass like me can print at home. So DARPA's got it going on where they could print stuff in the field as they need it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. They're going to start printing soldiers pretty soon.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Just biological plastic.
Oh, they're going to link up with the Boston Mechanics boys. It's going to be game over.
Oh, my God. Black Mirror. We're in Black Mirror right now. We're in the end game.
This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Flowers are blooming. The grass is growing, and it's time to mow your lawn. Thanks to our sponsor, Manscaped, you can trim the hedges below the belt safely and efficiently. I'm talking about ball trimmers! ! Ball trimmers. Manscaped, the global leaders in men's below-the-waist grooming, have an exclusive offer for our audience. Use the code IDIOTS to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Join the other 2 million men who trust Manscaped. They're here to make sure your balls are smooth and smelling nice. After all, it's time for some spring cleaning, folks.
Reg, spring has sprung, and Manscaped has the best tools to get you ready. Now, again, we've all been these, you're getting ready for the date. Maybe you're getting ready for an Easter dinner, and you're like, hey, I got to freshen up, man. You're using some other people's trimmers, and what happens? You get a nick. Now you're bleeding. Now you're 20 minutes late for your dinner. You know what I mean? This happens. What Manscaped are the global leaders in men's below-the-waist grooming and have forever changed the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. During your Easter gathering, you're celebrating the return of Jesus Christ. You don't want to have, some mangled testicles. So,
that's right.
This legit package has precision-engineered tools for your family jewels and will help unlock your confidence and best self this spring. The Perfect Package 3.0 kit comes with the Essential Lawnmower 3.0, waterproof cordless body trimmer, and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. This third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce shaving accidents. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of technology, folks.
Beautiful. Now, Manscaped obsesses over technology to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience, and they only use the best ingredients in their formulations. Inside the Perfect Package, you're going to find the Manscaped Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. It's starting to get hot outside, and this is crucial so your balls stop sticking to your leg. I mean, you're going to be enjoying Easter bread, right? You want to make sure your Easter balls ain't going to stick. And as our treat, you'll find the Crop Reviver, which will keep your balls smelling fresh, just like spring flowers.
Everybody that pays attention knows that when a guy takes a half step to the side, he's just getting his balls off his leg.
That's right.
So make sure that you have yours nice and clean so that it doesn't stick so much. Get the right stuff. So, on top of the Lawnmower 3.0 and formulations, Manscaped has thrown in two free gifts. The Shed Travel Bag and patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped boxer briefs. Your comfort is going to be the next level all over. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. I'm just going to keep going. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code IDIOTS at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job.
That's get 20% off and free shipping with the code IDIOTS at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping with the code IDIOTS, that's IDIOTS, at manscaped.com. It's spring cleaning, baby, and your balls will thank you.
But yeah, so to reiterate, I mean, last time Scott was on the show, for those of you that don't know, something like episode, 86 or 85 or something like 30-something weeks ago, Scott was on the show because he was embroiled in some sort of social media, hubbub because he decided to make a joke and people didn't enjoy it very much. Well, actually, that's not true. I enjoyed it and a lot of other people enjoyed it, but some people like to not enjoy it. So basically, we had him on the show. We chatted about that, other American stuff. Since then, the USA now has a new supreme leader, and
we don't use
then they're
that term.
He's the high priest, the Lord of Lords. Mr. Joseph R. Biden. But then, and also you guys had a bit of an insurrection-y type, let's storm the Capitol type thing. And, the U.S. has been a little bit dicey from what I can tell.
Weird time to be in America, yes.
Yeah, what's the feeling like down there? I mean, you're in Portland-ish. You're at Mount St. Helens. You're in the shadow of a deadly volcano.
You figured Trump was gone, so let's go back to more danger.
One does not simply walk into Mordor, right? So what's going on over there?
We are definitely a nation divided, for sure.
Yeah.
And let me talk about the hat. So we were talking about the American Idiot segment. I'm like, I want to be clearly American. So I went out and got a hat with the American flag on it. Hard to do that without it being bright red, MAGA style hat.
Yeah.
But I found a white one with just the flag on there.
That's a nice looking hat.
America,
I like it.
I've always considered, I love my country. I don't consider myself a patriot. I don't fear my government. I don't trust the government. But those words nowadays, though, make me a far right nut job. And wearing an American flag, the right has co-opted the American flag. The Confederate flag kind of got shut down everywhere. Like even Walmart won't sell them anymore.
Oh, only now. Yeah, bummer.
The American flag, and then there's the blue line flag and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So now if you fly a flag on your street, you're sending a message that I'm a proud gun-toting, Trump-loving, whatever. And I wouldn't wear this to work, is my point. And that makes me really sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now,
that's problematic.
I'm not super right and I'm not super left. Both sides hate me because I'm pro-choice and pro-gun and pro-gay marriage and pro-small government. And, my ideologies don't mesh with the party lines that you're supposed to follow.
So, nor should they,
which for the majority of people, it probably is that way. But because everything's so left and right, nobody can talk about that openly.
And both ends are so shrill.
Yeah.
And shouting over each other and with the hypocrisy. Yeah, I know you are, but what am I? That argument over and over again. But
it's all about, what do they call that there? It's the whataboutisms, right? Where you're like, yeah, well, I'm going to do that. Yeah, but what about that guy when he did that 2 years ago? And then what about when that guy did it 4 years ago? And then what about when that guy did it yesterday? It's like, that's not how we have discourse.
Attack or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but so we have this phenomenon here, and it's very pronounced in small towns like mine, where the right devotees have so much energy for this. They've got flags all over their trucks. Some people have built special racks on their minivans to fly 9 flags when they drive down the highway that say Trump and fuck Biden and the American flag and all kinds of stuff. And it's weird. I'm not sure what they think they're trying to do with that exactly. There was a meme going around after the election, like, see, it's your fault you didn't fly enough flags. You didn't have enough flags on your truck or whatever. So I don't know. I don't even put bumper stickers on my car. No one cares what my opinion is. I don't need to tell anyone what my opinion is.
I have one sticker on my car. Yeah. I have one sticker on my car, and it's a Two Idiots podcast sticker because, it's for us. But in general, you're right. Like, it's sad when you think about that your national emblem is so co-opted and so almost toxic. And like, you can't even have that's a sharp looking hat. And I've always loved the American flag. It's a sharp looking flag, one of the best out there, in my opinion. I'm a bit of a flag nerd. I think it looks great. It's very clean. It's very bright. It's very crisp. But I mean, even then, when I was a kid, when we would go to the U.S., roughly probably especially after 9/11, that's when the flags really came out and everybody was rah, rah, rah. And when you come back to Canada, it's like, you might see a flag here and there, and like, we're all pretty proud Canadians, but it's we don't feel the need to.
You don't drive down the street seeing the flags, coming off the porches, right? Like, it's not like that.
But again, it's a bummer that it's been taken to mean, far right, anti-science, pro-Trump, all this stuff that it's now being used for. When I'm sure there's plenty, but again, how do you bring that back? Because now if the left side or the left side of the spectrum sees that flag as like fighting words, and if they don't think it represents them, How do you bring that back together?
I'm sad to say that ultimately, what history shows is eventually we'll have another tragedy. We'll get bombed or attacked or something like that,
Yeah.
and that'll bring us back together again. I'm sad that it'll take that, but that's historically how it has gone.
Yeah.
Because looking at headlines over the years, we've been fighting over stuff forever. Divide. But then when national tragedy happens, we come together.
It's the great unifier.
That's what makes America
Right.
great. It's great.
Question mark? Yeah.
You know, I like World War II movies.
Yeah.
Because of all the sacrifice and the brotherhood and everybody in it for a cause. There was no question. There's no gray area. Were we fighting for an oil pipeline or whatever? You know, Nazi Germany was evil and they had to be put down. And I like that. I'm not a nationalist, but I just like that patriotism, and we're all in it together, and the country was unified in a specific goal. And I find that comforting.
It's problematic for us, especially
a bunch of people marching on the Capitol.
Yeah, because they lost an election.
Yeah,
something that never happened before in history, and I don't know.
Now, what was going through your head as you watched this, insurrection happening?
It was weird, and it didn't really make a lot of sense. And I'm not a QAnon guy or a big conspiracy theorist or anything, but I wasn't sure what I was watching because it seemed staged in places. Like I saw plenty of footage of guards letting people in.
Yeah.
The things like, are these people being duped and set up as they're now saying that they were? And just the footage I was seeing on the national news it just didn't add up for me. Now, I didn't spend my whole day watching it either. I was, I had a job to do, but I'm popping over. They just kept showing the same clips, and some of it didn't make sense. There was one shot of a bunch of people on the steps and going in, but you can see uniformed people like around them doing nothing. So I'm not sure what was going on. I don't know. It was it was alarming. Definitely didn't like it. I didn't know where this was going to go, but whatever political nonsense we have going on here, we're not gonna let anyone upset an election or stop the workings of Congress and the Senate. It's not going to happen, because then the country would just dissolve overnight.
Yeah.
Devolve into chaos. So those at the top drew the line, and this is where this stops. And I don't know. It is pretty nice that I haven't had to hear anything Trump has to say for weeks. It's just so much easier.
It's so true.
Without this crazy stuff.
I was listening to some stuff, and they were talking about how Biden was getting a little bit of flack because most presidents by this time have done their own solo press conferences or something. And but at the same time, he sort of like using it as like an antidote to the constant just like barrage of bullshit that was coming out of the Trump White House. It's like, it's a little bit nice to just take a breath. Just like, you know, you can say what you want about Biden. We'll get into that. But like, it's just, let's just breathe. Let's let everything settle. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see what happens. But it's definitely an issue is also that the Republicans didn't even vote or to like condemn this insurrection or whatever it was. They had some thing pop up and they didn't even.
Astonishing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's fun.
Well, if we go down in history, I'll remember it always.
Yeah. It's that one of those events. Randy, what do you think it would take in Canada for someone or a group of someone's to storm Ottawa?
One more carbon tax bill. Honestly, I probably not a lot at this point. I mean, there's a lot of Trudeau hate. Like it's kind of, like it's similar, like you said before, you drive around the street and you see all the fuck Trudeau stickers and the middle fingers and all that kind of shit. It had to be something pretty drastic, but I mean, maybe he cancels another pipeline, man. Shit, I don't know. At this point, it could be.
I don't know.
I think the majority it'd be Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
I think the majority of. Go ahead.
It was stupid. I regretted it as soon as I said it.
Those are the ones you have to say.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think the majority of Canadians are level-headed enough to not do that. And so it would have to be something pretty extreme. I mean, maybe it'd probably be something to do with COVID at this rate. It'd be sending people off their rockers. But I don't know that we would get to that point. I don't know if there's enough population density of the crazies to do that, right?
I
And
envy you that. I envy you that. We have a lot of them here, and it's
You could have,
coming
like-
out of the woodwork. It's crazy.
Yeah, you have 1% of Americans thinking one thing, and that's, what is that, 3 million people? Like, it's terrifying. So if we have
That is
1%
terrifying.
of anything in Canada, and it's like 5 people.
That's not much of a movement. Hard to get some momentum with that.
Well, we had a guy storm the grounds. Some guy from
Winnipeg.
he was no.
Yeah,
He was from Winnipeg?
He was. He's from Manitoba.
Oh fuck. Okay, I didn't know he's one of our own. But he had driven up to what is it, Rideau Hall or whatever the hell our place is called,
Cottage or whatever the hell it is. He's
I didn't
from
know
Manitoba.
Oh well, shit. Anyway, I don't know if you. I
We're
assume you didn't hear
number
about it. Yeah, I assume you didn't hear about it, Scott. But basically, we had a guy. It wasn't an insurrection. It was a guy that we're not even sure why he did it, but he drove his truck all the way to Ottawa from Manitoba, which is like 35 hours away or something.
It's a long drive, yeah.
And so then he basically stormed the grounds, and then they got arrested. I think. Did he get shot?
Corey Hearn, a 46-year-old Manitoba military reservist and sausage maker, faced 21 weapons charges and one of threatening the prime minister. Pleaded guilty to 7 weapons charges related to possession of prohibited or restricted firearms for a purpose contrary to the public peace, and 1 charge of mischief by willfully causing $100,000 worth of damage to the Rideau Hall gate.
That's because think about it, like that headline is so Canadian, and it's just, why the hell do you need to mention the sausage making? Like,
It gave me pause as well. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That piece of the backstory. It brings
We
it
got to
all
humanize him
focus.
just a little bit.
yeah, he was a great barbecuer, but he's also like, it's just that's so silly. But anyway, so it wasn't even that. But I think it boils down to, if he was anything but a white prairie boy, things would have gotten squirrely away quicker. They wouldn't have called him a sausage maker if he was anything but a white boy.
I'd have been a terrorist instantly.
Yeah, it's problematic. I've seen pictures like that, even like in American Post and stuff, where it's such and such ex-con does this thing, but then especially when it's a black guy, it always seems to need to mention that he's an ex-con. And then when it's like a white guy doing something good, they never mention that he had got caught with drugs or something. You know,
Hey, they're just having a bad day, Reg.
oh my
Just
God.
a bad day.
Oh, I forgot about that. Jesus Christ. How?
It's all so cringeworthy.
Oh fuck.
Yeah,
How does that fly? If you're the sheriff, and if your entire investigation goes, well, he said it wasn't race related, so it must not have been. He just didn't sleep well the night before. That must be why. It's like, fuck off.
I don't even know. Now, to be fair, our law enforcement leadership are not known for being brainiacs. Some of them, I think, are quite good.
Yeah, sure.
I've met a few good cops. I've met a few good chiefs of police and sheriffs and deputies. But there's a lot of good old boyism. There's a lot of racism in the military and the police, and it's cringeworthy. It's embarrassing.
100%.
For
That
sure.
might have to be the title of the episode.
Man, you're making us all look bad. Come on.
Yeah. It's just, again, I firmly believe in the whole defund the police thing, where we need to reroute funding to other things. Not necessarily that police forces need less money, but, or more importantly, social services need more money. Is the point that I get to. And again, I know a lot of people that are kind of fundamentally almost aggressively left, where it's they're totally in favor of abolishing police entirely, and all of that. But at the same time, like, again, Randy and I both know cops that are solid guys. You know, like I'm not willing to say that because policing itself has a systemic racism problem, that doesn't mean that every cop involved is necessarily being racist. You know, if that makes sense.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and so then and to abolish it is kind of silly, but like I said, I think the main point just goes down to we need better addiction support, better mental health support, better social service support, better all this support, and if that means we have to give a little bit less to some bloated police unions, then maybe that's what we need to do.
For sure.
Don't get me going on unions, but yes, Portland police spend a disproportionate amount of their time dealing with the homeless population.
Yeah. Yep.
And they are working on doing this a different way, where there's a mental health professional and someone that's good at the outreach that deals with the people first and tries to get them to the services they need before cops come down with guns with someone that's all drugged out of their mind and ends up having to shoot them. So, and that's been better, but they're still disproportionately spending more time on homeless than they should.
It'll take time.
So diverting that resource to something that actually addresses the problem rather than lock them up, is exactly what you're saying. And that goes across the spectrum. People need to have housing, people need to have jobs. That's all related to mental health as well.
Yep.
So we're taking care of the community. We don't need to spend so much on knocking in skulls. I do want to say how proud I am of the St. Helens Police Department. These guys don't write chicken shit tickets and stuff. All they do is solve crimes. They're always catching pedophiles and theft rings and chop shops and meth people and stuff like that. I've been pulled over. I've been out here 22 years. Been pulled over 3 times, and each time I deserved a ticket, and they never gave me a ticket. Come on, man. That's it. So they're not out there to just make a bunch of money. All they do is solve crime. Just love these guys, man.
That's amazing. I think it's important to
He's been called on me here at home a number of times because I get a little loud sometimes, and I like fireworks. But they've always been super cool. They always make me feel like they work for me, etc. Now my neighbor to the south, he has passed me a number of times. Police called now, so because he parties really loud and really late. So,
but again, that should be the point, and it's counterintuitive. But the goal of any police force is to remove the need for a police force is what it should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't. And for whatever reason, budgets continually climb instead of, if you have a low crime rate, they tend to just find more rinky dink things to get tickets and stuff. Because again, too many city budgets rely on bullshit speeding tickets and lights out tickets
cameras.
And it's fucked. But that said, I'm glad that your country still exists for however long that lasts. They're going to move Congress to the Everglades and just let the alligators eat them at this point.
Or go to the Mount whatever underground where they go when the asteroids.
Camp David.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get through it. I really hope. I know a lot of people. Well, all the Trump people are very upset about Biden and really hate him. And here we go. How terrible this is going to be. I'm not sure exactly what their complaint is. I'm willing to hear it. Immigration. He's going to take all our guns apparently, and the tax thing on the wealthy. That stuff's been going on forever. So I'm not sure why it's so gloom and doom and he's going to be the end of the world. But I'm all ears. I don't know.
Well, you know exactly why.
Scary to me now. I don't like a president that just freaks everyone out every day. Here, check this shit out, and rolls the dice. And,
You're just creating anxiety every day for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Scares old people, scares young people. So I hope we get through it. I hope Biden. I want him to succeed. I hope he has a good first term, and I hope we don't have another Trump or another like him in 4 more years. And
the scary thing.
On the right course.
The scary thing is I don't think Trump himself or that type of braggadocious type overt kind of piece of shit gets it done anymore. But the real concern to me, at least, is that someone that can lean into the Trumpism and the Trumpy rhetoric.
There will be a
but they're
smart
sneaky
one who will come up.
Exactly. What if hear this. So what if the first, something super progressive, the first female president of all time will be Ivanka Trump. So it's the lefties will get a half chub.
That's how they get you. That's right.
Yeah.
They'll get a black woman president in there, but she'll be super conservative. And
it'll be Candace Owens. Yeah. But yeah, man, the the left would tie themselves in knots if that were the case. Because it's like person of color, lady, great, but Republican and asshole, bad.
Shit.
How do we?
Well, that said, the left. I mean, I don't want to pick on the black community. I'm an ally. I consider myself an ally. But a black person that doesn't agree with the Black Lives Matter party line is ostracized and like, you're not black.
Yeah.
And I've heard some black leaders use those very words. You're not black,
Yep.
even though they're black. They
Right.
just don't have the same opinion. And that applies to any little silo of ideology and people nowadays.
100%.
If you don't go the party line, we don't want you.
Yeah.
I've always been. I had 3 uncles growing up. 2 he-men, a truck driver, a forest ranger, and an artist. My artist uncle Tim was gay. They were all equally excellent, but he was the one that taught me about music and gave me books and small animals, and he was always just a kind person. I've been in more gay parades than any other straight person I know. I've been in more gay clubs, been around all kinds of gay people. Love them. So I've always considered myself an ally.
Yeah.
The new trans movement, they don't really want me anymore. Even if I'm like, go you or whatever, it's, I don't know. I'm always saying something heteronormative or whatever.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they want a lot of language change really fast. And it's not really my fault if I don't get the pronouns right the first time. I'm glad to do whatever you'd like me to do, but
Right.
you can't be mad at me for not knowing out of the gate unless you're wearing a shirt that says call me blank.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
just
think
like if I'm wrong, then just correct me and I'll do better next time. Like
everyone has a right to exist.
Yeah.
And should be, a right to be treated with dignity and have all the work options and to marry who they want and all that kind of stuff. But beyond that, anyway, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole and put my foot in.
But no, you're absolutely right. And again, I consider myself pro-trans rights, pro all of that, pro all the things that make people live how they want to live, that makes them happy. I'm totally in favor of all of that. But at the same time, you gotta be cool. You gotta be like, you're doing gigantic societal change, especially in language. Language is involved, and it's being really kind of forced very quickly. And again, I think the majority of not that I'm trans, so what the fuck do I know? But I think the majority of the rhetoric, a lot of most people that are a lot more chill about it, and they understand that most people aren't used to using certain terms, or if they see you look a certain way, they might call you a dude or a girl or whatever. And I think it takes time. And I think most people are a little bit more realistic, and they think that it'll, which is what we need. And language is fluid. It'll change anyway on its own as it goes. And I think it's going to happen. It's just, it doesn't need to happen today.
And like, if you're going to be an asshole about it, you're probably an asshole to begin with then. And I probably don't want to be hanging out with you anyway. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like if we were talking to you, Scott, and you're like, okay, my name's not Scott anymore. And then I insist on only calling you Scott because that's what I know. It's like, you're just being a dick or I'm just being a dick. Like, that's just, it's irrelevant to me what you call yourself. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So do you think the president of the United States can survive stairs for the next 4 years or no?
Yeah, I wasn't happy to see that stumble. It didn't look good. And he had missed some other event a week or two prior because he fell down too. So
yeah,
the right loves to pick on him and how feeble he is. So
of course,
I think they may need to protect him from stairs for a while. Just put him on a man lift or something. And
those acorn stair lifts you see the ads for.
Yeah, it just takes 3 hours.
Life off Air Force One or something like that.
Put him in a squirrel suit and push him off the plane.
Yeah. They'll just Weekend and Bernie's him and have his Secret Service just hold him up and like wave and stuff.
But even that, he's under such a microscope now that any little thing that goes wrong, he's automatically jumped on for.
Even when it's nonsense. Like the guy stumbles. Who cares?
Well, that's the way it is now. So
yeah.
But yeah.
What's interesting is that again, we're gonna lean into here a little bit. What's interesting is that the people that loved Trump are willing to excuse all manner of horrific things that he did, but Biden stumbles on a staircase and suddenly he's the devil. But that's neither here nor there.
One of my best friends, special forces vet, he was here with us for a few months at the beginning of the quarantine. And pre-election, he's talking about, oh yeah, that guy Biden, he's a gaffe machine because he stumbles his words. Like,
yeah,
you're a Trump guy, and that's the hill you want to die on is he doesn't talk good. That's the so. Anyway, I value his opinion more than most, but I still had to kind of shut that down.
Of course. And again,
that's the I know you are, but what am I ism that I was talking about? Just like, and both sides do it. Total disregard for what bullshit their guy or people do, and totally eviscerating the other side for the same thing. And they just all day, going back and forth. People dropping these memes on Facebook like that ends with like, think about that for a minute. Like they just made some truth bomb salient point. It's like, well, I didn't see it that way, and I've totally changed my mind now.
Oh man, I've gotten into some heated discussions on Facebook, and even if I don't actually type them in my brain, I'm like, oh my god, just typing words on a flashy background does not mean that you are right or that you're being reasonable or that it's true. Mm-hmm. Like it's all it takes now. You just need a really bold font with it doesn't even need to be totally true. Even if you use just terms like the buzzwords that get everybody heated, and then you put it on like a fuchsia background and you write, think about it. And then you win. Drives me nuts.
It's like you won something.
Yeah.
Social media gave everyone the idea that their opinion somehow matters and they need to share it. And now they've confused that with free speech.
Yeah.
Free speech means certain things. It doesn't mean you can yell fire in a crowded theater. It doesn't mean you can lie in a business deal or in court. Or it doesn't mean what they seem to think it means, that I can say whatever the hell I want. Yeah. But the weird part is that everyone thinks it's so important to share their opinion. And what half the people agree with you, the other half think you're an asshole. So that's great. Yeah.
Well, people still don't realize that you can say whatever you want, but there's going to be consequences to certain things you may say, and you have to realize that.
But not necessarily legal ones. That's where free speech comes in, because it just means that the government can't arrest you for saying it, but it doesn't mean that you should say it, and like that your company can't reprimand you for it, or that the platform that you're saying it on
can't violating my free speech. No, your employer does not.
No.
It's the government. It's what the government can and can't do about what you say, not what your employer, or if your neighbor punches you in the mouth for what you say, he's not violating your free speech.
He's technically abusing you and assaulting you, but that's a separate legal issue. It's not a free speech issue.
Some people just really need to get hit.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. Sometimes you just need a little smack in the mouth to kind of rattle things into place. Okay, so what do we think here? Let's do a little oops. Okay. I thought up some Canadian trivia questions again. We'll do a little round here and see if Scott or Randy does better than you guys did the last time.
Sure.
I think it ended up being like 5-1 or something for Randy, the Canadian, which is not surprising.
I got the craft dinner one.
Was that what it was? Yeah.
I got craft dinner. I do think Canada City should have been a point with an asterisk, but that's it.
Right. So, yeah, Scott knows everything there is to know about slug trails and Portland strip clubs, but not so much about Canada. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I only have a handful here, but we'll see. Starting off easy, we'll ask Scott first. All right, there'll be multiple choice. And all right, the year Canada became a country, Scott. A, 1852. B, 1911. C, 1867. Or D, 1992.
1867.
Oh, well, before we say anything, Randy, what do you got?
1867.
All right, so point each. Look at you guys go. Cut off to a heater.
You just gave him an audible cue.
I know.
Randy.
I fucked up. But he should have known it anyway. We'll see how it shakes out. Maybe we'll take Randy's point away. We haven't decided yet. This is very official. It's very.
Come on, Trebek, get it together.
The rapist.
Fuck it, Trebek. All right. Best-selling Canadian musician of all time. A. Drake. B. Celine Dion. C. Nelly Furtado. Or D. Nickelback.
I think it's Celine Dion.
Okay, Randy.
I'm gonna say Celine Dion as well.
Oh, I'm making him too easy. Another point to each of you. Look at you. I was hoping that maybe
the Titanic song, man.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I was
By the way,
hoping
what
that
did Nickelback ever do to anybody?
nothing.
Nothing. No,
That's
they're a perfectly fine rock band.
yeah. They just, for whatever reason, again, I'm not sure even when that happened, but as long as I can remember,
I think
Nickelback
people
has been.
just hate like Chad Kroger's like wavy blonde hair, and that's just where it started.
That's a good reason. All right. I changed my mind. Nickelback's garbage because of Chad Kruger's hair. That's the only thing I need.
That's the only way you can think.
That is the correct way. That is the truth. Think about it. Think about Chad Kruger's hair, guys. Just
Don't
think
be a
about it.
sheep.
Yeah. A blamma blamma. All right. Moving on. How many American CFL teams were there during the expansion? A, 0, B, 2, C, 6, or D, 4? Scott, you go first.
It's a first off CFL, so compact fluorescent light bulb.
Yes. Yep. How many light bulb divisions did they open in the U.S.? The Canadian Football League.
Okay, could you start again, please? I was thrown by the acronym. Like, what are we talking about right now?
All right. So in the Canadian Football League, how many American teams did they have? I don't forget what order I went in. It's either 0, 2, 6, or 4.
4.
All right. Randy, how many?
I believe it's 4. Shreveport, Baltimore, Vegas, and I can't remember the fourth one, but I think it's 4.
Wow, the CFL head got it wrong too.
I did. Is it 6?
It's 6, Randy. You are stupid and a terrible Canadian.
I know, it's awful. Hey, I remembered Shreveport. Who's going to remember fucking Shreveport?
Where is Shreveport?
Louisiana.
Oh, of course. Nobody cares about Louisiana. Least of all, George Bush. Ba-doom, boom.
And Anthony Calvillo came from Vegas, and the Baltimore won the Grey Cup in '94.
It's fair. But yeah, there was the San Antonio something, and
right. Yeah.
Baltimore whatever's.
Stallions.
Did you ever say that? Yeah. So actually, the next one was name one. So Randy named a bunch of them, and we kind of fucked that one up. So do you remember any of the ones we just said? All right. So Randy named at least one. He'll get a point for that. Scott named one too. We'll give him a point for that. We're very legit here at the Two Idiots podcast. How many prime ministers has Canada had? A, 12, B, 40, C, 23, or D, 34?
34.
I should know this. What was the first? It was A?
12, 40, 23, or 34?
I'm going to say 34.
Wow. You're both terrible Canadians. The answer is 23. We have had 23 prime ministers.
I was trying to do the math from the year that you were founded and work it backwards from there. It's easy in America because we always refer to our presidents by their number.
Yeah.
45. So we always know.
I keep forgetting too that some like do it and then jump back into it. So like, does that not count for the numbers?
And Canada doesn't have strict term limits. You can be prime minister for 100 years if you get voted in for 100 years. So it gets kind of squirrely. And actually, yeah, we've had ones where they were prime minister for like a hot minute and then they left and then they came back and then they left and then they came back again. Yeah. So we've had only 23.
One guy counts for 4 or something.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, 23. So no points for that. Current standings are, I think you guys are neck and neck.
2-2.
3-3, actually. We're including the name one expansion team one. Okay. Let's see here. The biggest Canadian export, the international export. A, syrup, B, oil, C, lumber, and D, hockey players?
I'm pretty sure it's lumber.
Good guess. Good guess.
I'm gonna go syrup.
You're both wrong again. It's oil. It's the boring one. Of
That
course
was
it's
my
oil.
next
Of course
choice,
it
but-
is.
Mhm.
I wish it was syrup. I wish we were known purely just selling syrup.
Giant
We
pipeline,
yeah,
pure maple syrup.
the slowest pipeline
We,
ever.
we want to prove any oil pipelines, but the Trans
winter,
Canada
nothing moves.
maple syrup pipeline goes.
Yeah, the international syrup trade is spicy. But we probably are one of the biggest syrup exporters, but it's not our biggest export. So I need a tiebreaker here. I think those are all the questions that I made up right before we started here.
Ouch.
What
Canada
might be-
is the world's largest exporter of maple products.
Boom. Yeah, that checks out.
71% of the world's maple syrup exports.
Wonder who else? Probably the US.
65% of that is from Quebec alone.
That checks out. French Canadian.
Frenchies.
Yeah. Operation Get Behind the Frenchies. Let's see. We need a tiebreaker here. I think you guys are tied if I counted right. Let me check here. We need to find something. Real quick as we're recording because I don't want to pause things. You guys chat amongst yourselves for a little bit. I'm gonna look for something that we can think up here.
Why don't you do
Anyway,
like I'm doing good, man. It's been a hectic while. My wife was sick and my kiddo was sick for a bit, so it's been
not
been
the
all right.
Rona.
no, not the Rona, just some other health issues. Wife got some blood clots and things like that, so we're working it out. She's getting better, but
Okay.
it's been good. How you been, man?
It's like Groundhog Day over here. I just work and sleep and barely leave the house and I don't know, watching a lot of movies. Doing
That's-
3D printing. I fly
Yeah,
drones.
perfect.
My dog is, now that I'm home all the time, she's gotten super bossy.
Of course.
But, I have to shut the door. She'll be in here going, woo, while I'm trying to play Canada trivia. So,
Mine would be doing the same damn thing.
my wife works at Starbucks. It's about a half mile away. So she's back at work now, but they're being very careful there.
Right.
She would like us to get the vaccines as soon as they're available to us because I'm in a higher risk group. So for her peace of mind. So I'm not anti-vax. I'm not in a hurry to get the vaccine, but I'll do it when it's available
Right.
to make her comfortable. So that's fine.
Right. Are you guys still in your state, like doing it like an age group thing and then working their way?
Yeah. I think it's supposed to hit my age group here just in a few days.
Oh, okay.
My wife's 5 years younger, so she would be a little bit longer, but she's a
Right.
frontline worker at the Starbucks. So I don't know. They're trying to accelerate it and get better, and we'll see. It's changing faster
Right.
than it has for a
Well,
while.
the states is doing a lot better than Canada's doing in terms of vaccine rollout. So,
Really.
we're
but-
awful.
But they also lost a lot more people.
True. Very true.
So tomato. Tomato,
Yeah,
potato.
we're getting it moving now, and so again, say what you will about Biden. He said he was going to do 100 million doses in 100 days, and now he's upping it to 200. So in that same period, and it's happening. So there you go.
Yeah, but he's a
man.
Google
snake.
all be microchipped.
He's a democratic shill.
Bill Gates is going to control all our brains.
Yeah. We're using a Bill Gates PC anyway. We're using Windows fucking 10. They already have our.
They're going to put a chip in us to track us. Like we all volunteer to be tracked everywhere we go. Anywhere we are, we take pictures of our food. So I don't understand that end game. But okay.
It's a stupid point. It means nothing. But again, actually, this is before I have a tiebreaker here. But before we get there, I think it's funny because I've had family members they were talking about Bill Gates and how terrible he is. And then my wife, who's kind of a Bill Gates stan, she's reading a bunch of stuff and watching some of his documentaries and stuff. She really likes Bill Gates. And I'm in the middle. I don't know enough about the guy one way or the other, but I lean that he's a pretty hell of a nice guy. I don't know.
Right.
There's a lot of philanthropy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But they seem to not like
Was
him.
he on Epstein's jet? I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Well, I think it stems from
there's been
there's been some coming back that it's something to do with how they did vaccine rollout in like Africa, and they were like forcing people to take them allegedly, and they were like poisoning people and sterilizing people, and that's as much of the conspiracy as I've dipped my toe into, which I don't believe, because laws are a thing.
It doesn't pencil out.
No. But all right, here's a tiebreaker, folks. You guys are tied 3-3 in a locked heat, neck and neck. You're both terrible Canadians, so we need to come to a tiebreaker. All right. What year was Tim Hortons, the franchise, not the hockey player, founded? 1982, 1947, 1951, or 1964?
Hey.
Okay.
1964. Says it right on the cups.
Oh, look at you. I didn't even know it was on the cups. I just Googled it. 1964. All right. For a little bonus point, how many locations are there?
Ooh, in all of Canada?
All in the world. But they're mostly in Canada.
1,100.
1,100.
I'm going to say 4,300.
Wow, Randy, you're on fire. Just the Canadian maple syrup in his blood is just
all the coffee and the syrup, baby, pump it in me.
Just
inject
nice
it into
little,
my veins.
Yeah, just a sweet caffeine boner right now. Okay, so the actual answer is 4,932 worldwide. So 4,300 is pretty good.
Damn.
Pretty good. All right,
look,
so
there's like 60 in Winnipeg, so I'm just going to go on off that.
They're often within blocks of each other. Like you can basically cross the street and you're at another one. It's disgusting. It's not even good. But anyway. All right. So, I mean, we've determined twice now that Randy is the undisputed champ Canadian against the American that spends no time in Canada. So I don't know if he should be too proud of it, but
come at me, Dirty Harry. Let's go.
Oh, that's fun. All right.
So I've been to Canada 3 times, but now I have a colorful past. The rumor is that if you have anything, even 30 years old, that they're not going to let you in anymore. Is that true?
I think so. I think
they don't want us dirty Americans up in there.
It's fair. I mean, I
don't want Americans here, so
we don't want the dirty Americans in America. Maybe just send them to Mexico. That's probably where all the dirty people come from, according to some people. Just kidding. Just using satire and humor to lighten a dark situation.
Not trying to get canceled, that's all.
Canada border crossing.
They can't cancel us, Scott. They can't cancel us. We're too powerful. More likely we're too weak and we don't even show up on the radar.
Broadcast signal.
Probably.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah.
With our broadcast signal from a mutant dolphin.
We're just going to buy a boat and we'll go out in international waters and start our own podcasting network.
There we go. Oil rig.
Yep. May as well.
Data centers governed by no national laws.
Yeah. It'd be fun. We're gonna go crazy. Sponsored by Manscaped. Everyone's gonna be nice and smooth and lubed up. It'll be nice.
It'll be a party, baby.
Scott, how are your testicles? You should get them trimmed.
They're pretty hairy. I'm a hairy man.
So the Dirty Harry reference hit. Yeah.
Moving it could be a rough outing. It's like getting peanut butter in Santa's beard. A lot of work to get that out of there. So, but I'm a little scared to shave the nethers. I mean, if you want to come and give me a hand the first time and show me how it's done, maybe. Sure. But
we'll coach you through it.
I'm pretty hairy. Before we go on tropical vacations, I do cut back my massive bush, but not so much my balls.
Fair. It's fair. It's just a little bird in the nest. You just gotta. It feels home. Feels comfortable there. Like a bear in hibernation. That's what it is.
It looks like a button in a turtleneck.
It looks like Randy if he was wearing a fur coat.
Yeah.
throwing shade.
I
Randy,
mean, it
take your hat
works,
off for a
right?
bit.
Like,
yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah, I think we
shoulders up.
Yeah. Oh, gross. All right. Enough about Scott's genitalia. So yeah, we might have to call this one cringeworthy. I think that might have to be the title.
sounds about right.
All right, Scott. I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about before we shut her down? This has been fun.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
Great
Impromptu.
seeing you guys. Seems like I should have something salient or funny, but I got nothing.
That's okay. We touched on a lot of heavy stuff as we did last time. So, folks, if you're listening to this and you got a kick out of it and you want to hear more about Scott Lampman's penis, go to episode 86 of the Two Idiots podcast. I'm just kidding. I don't think we talked about your junk at all.
I don't know if we did that time.
No, I didn't talk about women's junk being rubbed across the
yes.
face, but I didn't get into.
Well, yeah, but that's just normal. That's a normal day.
Yeah.
That's just a Tuesday in Portland.
That's just a Tuesday. That's exactly right. And you know what? You don't even have to wait till after dinner. You can do that at 11 a.m. You can get brunch and a slug trail.
Who doesn't want to just have their eggs and bacon on Sniffers Row, right? I mean, come on.
There's like a buffet, a breakfast buffet. All you can eat, and then just go right back up to the bar.
It's basically like if your fried egg is a little bit undercooked and you get that kind of jelliness on the edge, that's sort of what it's like.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of strip clubs, we're running out of time again. But speaking of strip clubs, one in Winnipeg is open, and it's a really seedy joint called Teasers. Everybody knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody with self-respect goes to it, but it's open 5 to 10 with COVID restrictions. And I said to my wife as we drove by, I was like, 5 p.m. strippers are not something you want to see in Winnipeg. That's not something you want to do. They're basically noon hour strippers, and nobody likes noon hour strippers.
No, there's usually a C-section scar. Sometimes there's a bullet wound. Some of them have like knife scars on their face.
Well, that's
all of it.
They've lived a dangerous life, you know.
For sure.
In my previous life, I did spend a lot of time at the strip clubs. Now,
as a stripper,
occasionally. only when the audience demanded it.
Yeah, you made too much money; they don't let you back in anymore.
Yeah, like counting cards. Okay, well, I think we're done here. Let's get the fuck out before we really hit the skids.
Gentlemen, really good to see you guys.
You too.
You too, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we definitely need to. We've been in talks to get a Two Idiots website up and running, and that sort of went a little bit cold.
What's up with that? You wanted a website, right?
Yeah, I did.
I
did. But now I know it's finding time, you know, doing schoolwork, all this other bullshit adulting stuff. Shit gets in the way.
All you got to do, we turn on the domain, give you your email at that domain, just post your episodes, and you're done.
I know.
Randy, have you seen it?
I have seen it, yeah.
Okay.
He knows it exists. He knows it exists. We'll get it done. In the next couple of months, we'll have a website for sure. Sometime like 2023, give or take, we'll probably have a website. All right, Scott. Thanks again. It's fun talking.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care, guys.
Cheers, man. Bye.
Bye.
All righty. We have 7 minutes and 52 seconds before Zoom decides to kick us out. So thank you for listening. That was Mr. Scott Lampman, fun guy, funny American.
Always fun to talk to.
Yeah,
Never
we
a
met
dull
him
moment.
super randomly, and I'm glad that we keep in contact. So
that's what the
check
internet
him out.
does, man. Brings people together.
Together.
Forever.
I love you forever. Yeah, I don't know if that'll actually show up in the video, but I hope it does. Yeah, so definitely check out his first instance. We basically talked about how he released a satire article or a post, and it went viral. Yes. But this was another fun one. It's fun to always hear the perspective of our neighbors down south, especially around here with a lot of people that seem to think that the USA poops gold bars and ejaculates rainbows, when it in fact does neither of those things. But I think they'll get through it, and I hope that they do. So folks, thank you for listening. Find us on social media. Let's do all those plug stuff.
Sure.
Actually, yeah. So go to Instagram, type in 2 Idiots Podcast, Facebook, 2 Idiots Podcast, Twitter, we're Two Idiots Show. And on YouTube, we're also Two Idiots Podcast. Look for the logo. Like, follow, subscribe, share, all of that. Tell a friend.
You'll find us. Do all the jazz. Go to doubleidiotspodcast@gmail.com if you would like to send us any suggestions, comments, anything you want to send us. We'll look at it. And also go to patreon.com/twoidiotspodcast, where you can find our Patreon. You can come support us at different tiers. We have $3, $5, $7, and $10 levels. You can come support us at. You get different perks, things like that. You can become part of our Idiot Hall of Fame at the $7 level or above. The Hall of Fame. Our members this week, I don't even know if we have to do one, but I'm going to do one.
Oh, we will. We have 2 new patrons.
We do. They just joined us.
Yep.
We have first up Janet Gooden.
Yee-hoo.
Yee-hoo. Thank you, Janet. And also, Kat Weeb is now a supporter
We know her
on Patreon. We do know her.
Yeah, we know her.
Reg knows her intimately.
Quite intimately.
Who's
speaking
up next,
of intimately? Speaking of intimately, we have Mitchell Buck Pierce Buckers back in the show, back in the fold, in the 7th. Followed by Mr. Buck Pierce, we have Brian Moore, also in the Idiot Hall of Fame.
Brian.
We
also have former guest Drew McDonald.
Woo woo.
Woo woo. And Kayla Lundberg on behalf of her and Jordan Peters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And last but certainly not least, we have Danny Dewick, mother of the show, friend of the hosts.
Mi mama.
Yeah, mi familia. Lovely lady.
Familia.
So that's the Idiot Hall of Fame. Those are the people
family.
that.
Let's try to do Vin Diesel. From my family.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Now do I Am Groot.
I can't even do a Groot.
You're almost a Joker.
I know.
I am Groot.
I am Groot. I don't know.
I am Groot. But yeah, those are the people that we love the most because they love us the most. So
Indeed.
It's a quid pro quo type of situation.
Indeed.
Also, so yeah, definitely thank you to those people. You can join them as well for as little as $3 a month. You get to support the show, get bonus perks, get merch draws, get giveaways, get all the good stuff that comes with supporting the Two Idiots podcast by joining the Patreon there.
100%.
Feel free to send us donations if that suits your fancy, or just for sure leave a rating and review. 5-star ratings and reviews are huge. They mean a lot. And so we need you to help us out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, don't forget our sponsor Manscaped that we mentioned about Scott's genitals. But yeah, definitely check Manscaped out. Idiots, code idiots, 20% off. And
free shipping.
Exactly. And also go to teespring.com/stores/2-idiots-podcast. Get yourself some merch. Hook yourself up. Look at the shirt that Randy's wearing.
Dress yourself up.
Yeah, it's all green. A nice little logo. Got some alternate logos and such. And hoping to update that soon. So.
All kinds of goodies over there. And it helps us out.
Yep. Thank you for listening. Also, we forgot to talk about the Suez Canal stuff, which is a bit of a bummer.
But the way it goes.
It is the way it goes. I should actually quickly check here what...
The ship is a beaver's hero. Let's put it that way.
What?
Because all beavers want to do is dam up rivers and shit, man. Like the beavers are probably like it's their new god.
Yeah, that's true. We love you. I'm just picturing the little aliens in Toy Story.
Wow.
You're amazing.
The claw.
All right. The claw. Yeah, so I heard there's a rumor apparently that they were trying to draw a dick with their GPS and they got stuck in the canal. I don't know if that's true or not.
What?
I don't know if that's true. I might
just
be spreading
a big ship with a bunch of sea cans and shit on it drawing dicks.
We have 2 minutes. I'll quickly try and find it and then share it to the thing. Suez Canal.
I'm looking up Suez Canal dick drawing.
Dick GPS.
Ship appears to have drawn giant penis.
According to Huffington Post, cargo ship charted X-rated route before getting stuck in Suez Canal. Quote, blocking the Suez Canal being a literal dick move, one person joked about the MV Ever Given's predicament. Yeah, so let me quickly, I'm going to pop this open here and see if I can share the screen. I'm not familiar with Zoom. Share screen. Yeah, that one. This one. So then we click this. Is it going to play?
Right there.
So yeah. Can you see it?
Yep. That's hilarious.
You see that nice little wiener apparently he was drawing. So some little GPS dick pics is what's going on.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's funny. We could have definitely gotten into that, but we talked about enough about dick stuff with Scott. Randy solidified his best Canadian status, and yeah, he's ahead of Tommy Douglas, if we're being honest.
2 episodes running.
I want to do that more, even with Canadians.
Sure.
Do a nice big thing. Anyway, folks, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. We're getting the fuck out of here, and we love you.
Deuces.
Deuces.